First, we had an induction of 7 days. It was a very gruesome process. Right after our induction, we had our classes. In parallel to classes, we had to prepare for a summer internship. It is very important that you take one step at a time. It can be overwhelming at times, but if you take one step at a time, one day at a time, then it will be very easy for you to prepare for your placements while handling academics. The best thing about FMS is that the position of responsibility that you get, there are two things which makes FMS unique. It comes under University of Delhi, because of which we have a semester pattern. And then the second best thing about FMS, which differentiates FMS, is the students body, which is the Management Science Association. So there are two, three things that a person should do before joining FMS.
Okay, hello Vineet, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Yeah, hi.
First of all, congratulations on making it to FMS MBA batch of 2022 and also for achieving a silver medal in your first year at FMS.
Yes, thank you. It means a lot.
Right. So firstly, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your education background and all, and then how you made it to FMS?
So a little brief about me.
Sure.
I did my engineering from Sardar Patel College of Engineering, Mumbai. After my engineering, I knew engineering is not made for me, so I started working in the edtech domain. I worked in two different edtech domains, one as a content marketing manager and then as a business development associate. I finally ended up working with ICICI Prudential as a pricing manager.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, after my stint at ICICI Prudential, I worked there for around 12 months. I joined FMS in 2021, so that is last year. It has been a very good journey for me so far.
Right.
During my first year, I was the joint finance secretary, which is a very important position in FMS. And during my summer internship with Udan as a category management intern, I learned a lot there too. So currently, I'm the finance secretary of FMS, which I believe has imposed a lot of leadership skills in me and made me a better leader. So I believe that's it about me.
Yeah. Great. So firstly, first let's start with how you got into FMS. So can you tell us like briefly about that, how you got into FMS, how was the process, and what exactly is the selection process at FMS, and how can one prepare for that?
Okay, so it has been a very long journey for me.
Okay.
So I had to give three CAT attempts for getting to FMS.
Okay.
In my first CAT attempt, I got 98.16 percentile and I converted some new IMs. Even the second CAT attempt wasn't so good. I got 97.89 percentile, and again I converted new IMs. But I always had this dream that the final degree that I'll be having, that is of MBA, I'll be doing it only from the top 10 B schools. So I was not restricted to any particular B school, but I had to do it from the top 10 B school. So in the CAT, in the CAT of 2019,
2019, yes.
in the CAT of 2019, yeah, I prepared like very thoroughly. I chose the job of ICICI Prudential for that exact reason, because I
Okay.
wanted to prepare well for CAT. And like I compromised a lot, so I took a flat paying double the rent near my office so that I could save some time in traveling in
Okay.
Mumbai, because in Mumbai the traveling is very exhausting.
Right.
So yeah, I was paying a lot of rent to stay near my office and I could save time. I used to study 3 hours every day to prepare for my CAT. I used to give one mock every day. So that mock,
One mock every
and I
day.
used to, yeah, one mock every day. Yeah. So I had my job from 9. I used to go to office at 10 in the morning. So I used to wake up at 8:30, 8:30, 8:45. I used to go to the office and I used to work. So I used to work till 7. My house was very close to my office, so I used to come back to my house by 7:30. After that, I used to take some break, and then I used to have my dinner and everything by 9. Take some rest by 9, and then from 9 to 12, I that 3 hour slot was dedicated totally for CAT preparation.
Okay.
So yeah, that 3 hour is the time when I used to give a mock every day, 9 to 12 at night.
Okay, and when would you, like you said you're giving one mock every day, and when would you analyze it then? Like how would you do that?
Okay, so I used to give two fresh mocks on Saturday and Sunday, and I used to
Okay.
analyze it then itself
Same day,
as soon as
okay.
the result is out. But I used to like give the mocks of the previous year. So for my CAT of 2019, I used to give the mocks of 2017, 2018, 2016 of different institutes.
Okay.
So I had the PDFs downloaded. I used to like go section wise, and I used to give them section wise. So it was 3 sprints of 1 hour. So the first 1 hour I'll sit and I'll do all the 34 questions of ERC. Then in the next sprint of 1 hour I'll do all the 32 questions of DLR. Like obviously it was not possible for me to do all the questions, but I was trying to do as many questions as I can, and then see what is the approach for the rest of the questions. Again, so I used to do it just right after I have completed the section of that particular mock. So let's say I'm taking the mock of, let's say I'm taking mock one.
Yeah.
So I won't do it a 3 hour sprint. I'll first complete the VRC section.
Okay.
I'll solve it. I'll time it for 1 hour. I'll solve it all the questions. Then I'll see the solutions as to what went right, what went wrong, and then I'll do the same for DLR and I'll do the same for con.
So how was it possible to like give one section, immediately look at the solution? It'll take, it's, I think it's a 5 hours process.
Yeah, yeah. So I used to like squeeze time after my job was over. So
Okay.
after 7:30 my job is over. I used to like take some rest, have dinner till 9, and then from 9 to however much time it takes, I used to do one walk,
Okay. Including the solutions and analysis.
including the solution analysis. Yeah,
Okay. Great. Okay. FMS like journey, like FMS process,
yeah,
selection process of
yeah. So for giving CAT, so I'll start from that. For
yeah,
giving CAT,
sure.
I took a leave of 10 days from my office, so I had a proper 2 weeks break before giving CAT. I was totally dedicated then. I came to my hometown. I prepared for 2 weeks for CAT. Then I went to the center. I was very calm on that day. The VRC, if you remember, VRC section during my time was very tough,
Okay.
and I could see that everyone was panicking around me. But I knew that I've prepared very hard, and if I find VRC hard, then everyone else must be finding it terribly difficult, and that is why, and that gave me the confidence to attempt VRC with uh, as much accuracy as I could. And on the D day, VRC became the maximum scoring section for me. So I got 99.5 in VRC and overall 99.78. So uh,
Great.
that turned out to be the turning point for me.
Great.
And for me, yeah. So for me particularly during my year, so for the admissions of batch of 2020-2022, FMS decided that they won't be conducting interviews because of the COVID
Okay.
situation. Yeah.
Right.
So every year, what happens is once the first list of IM EBC is out, FMS conducts the interview process for all the aspirants in the Delhi campus of FMS, and everyone visits there. Everyone give the GD, the interview, and during the interview we have a extempore. So all this happens during a span of 7 days. And once that is done, 7 days is taken for result analysis analysis, and then results are released.
Okay.
So results are released before the second list of IM ABC is out, but the whole process starts after the first list of IM ABC is out.
Right.
So during my time, that was not the case because of the COVID restrictions. We could
Yes.
not travel to FMS, and even the professors were very scared, and even the protocols didn't allow us to travel. So FMS during our time decided that they'll select without the interview process. So we had multiple criteria in place. We had CAT. So firstly we had CAT, then 10th marks of 10th, 12th. Then we had marks for gender diversity. Then we had marks for graduation. So these all factors were considered for releasing the final merit list of FMS.
Right. Great. So now let's discuss more about FMS. So how was your journey so far at FMS? How was the journey in being like having completed the first year successfully?
Right. So ours is the first batch who had to go through the online process.
Right. So
We
how was the
have been,
experience of that online
yeah.
experience?
So it isn't exactly what we had hoped for, but we are trying to make the
Okay.
most of it.
Right.
The Again, we are trying to learn. We are trying to get the maximum out of it because there is no other option. And even then that experience actually helped us. So I'll start from the start. So
Yeah,
induction.
sure.
So first we had an induction of 7 days. It was a very gruesome process.
Okay.
During that 7 days we could only study for, like, we could only sleep for not more than 3 hours. So that was a daily schedule for more than 7 days for us. So we used to sleep only for 3 hours, and then we had a whole induction process for the 7 days.
Okay.
Right after our induction, we had our classes. So our classes started in parallel to classes, we had to prepare for a summer internship process. We had multiple GLs. We have multiple content society sessions. So we have different societies in FMS: marketing society, finance society, consulting, so on and so forth.
Right.
And they used to take sessions for us so that we could get at least the basic understanding of each domain. So this used to go on till like 12 in night. And so like we had classes from 9 in the morning till 12. We used to do that, and then we used to do all the assignments and all the summer preparation during the next 3 4 hours. And then again we used to sleep at 4 and then wake up at 8
Okay.
8:30 for our classes. Yeah, so this has been the cycle for
Yeah,
the
it's
for
pretty
the
hectic.
starting. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so this is what MBA teaches us, right? It
Right.
teaches you time
Exactly.
management,
Yes.
it teaches you stress management, it teaches you stakeholder management. So that is the best experience you can get out of this. Again, it could be very hectic for some people, but this is what your life is going to be
Right.
after your MBA. So till summer process was completed, this was what this has all been that has been happening. We used to attend GLs, we used to attend content society session, then we used to prepare on our own. And
Right.
obviously, we had lectures and assignments. After our summer internship process, the situation was a bit chill. We could relax for some time
Okay.
before. Yeah, so we didn't had any. So we had very less number of GLs. We had less number of content society sessions, and obviously the classes were also a bit chill. So second
Okay.
semester
But
is
not
usually
for
very
too
chill.
long, I think so. Right.
Yeah,
Before
so
it gets hectic. Yeah.
that is the case for only next 3 4 months. Then we have our
Okay.
internships, in which everyone obviously pours their heart out to get the PPO. My internship was with Udan. So
Okay.
yeah, before that I'd like to discuss one thing.
Yeah. Sure.
So even though we're not called to the campus, we many of us decided that we'll move to Delhi to get at least some experience of offline. So many of us of FMS decided to move to Delhi, and we are still in Delhi right now.
Okay.
So we are, yeah, so we meet regularly, we attend classes together a lot, so that helps in the peer learning. Yeah, which is something that we are missing a bit. Offline classes haven't started yet
Right. Right.
because of the COVID protocols. Yeah. Yeah, and then finally I had my internship with Udan as a category management intern. It was a very enriching experience because that is a role that I was aspiring to go into.
Right.
And Udan is obviously the largest P2B e-commerce in India, and it's going at a very rapid pace. It's a very exciting place to work at, and the project that I was given was very exciting. So that was a very
Okay.
enriching experience for me.
Brilliant. So you said the first year was pretty hectic. So how do one manage Acads, placements, and also positions of responsibilities?
Again, so as I said, that this is what MBA teaches you, right?
Right.
It teaches you time management, stress management. So there'll be a lot of time where you feel like you just want to give up and you want to sign out of the placement process.
Right.
Like this is I'm so done with this. But again, there are friends around you, there are people around you who will motivate you, who will support you. So it's very important to have that group of people who will always support you, who will always motivate you no matter what happens with you. And again, answering a question on how to
Yeah.
balance various different aspects of MBA, I believe it's all about time management. So during your classes, you need to be attentive. You need to be very attentive so that you can actually. So right before the exams, you don't need to slug very hard. If you are attentive in classes, if you know the concepts very well, the obviously the professors are world class professors in FMS. So if you just listen to them, you will be able to grasp, you will be able to learn a lot of things, and you won't actually need to study very hard during the end semester. And again, this is something that is very controversial, but
Yeah.
class participation is very underrated.
Okay.
I believe class everyone should
Right.
focus very much in the class and participate as much as they can. So if you have a case study discussion in the coming class, do read the case twice, thrice, make the points, have it discuss it with the professor, because these are the cases that has already happened, and history is the best teacher. You can learn from those cases and you can implement it in your organizations. You already have a live example of that. So I believe class participation is very underrated. Apart from that, the classes will go on till 4, 2:30 or 4, depending on the timetable. But
Right.
you'll have a packed schedule after that. So, but you will obviously get short breaks of 15 minutes, 30 minutes between your different sessions, between different lectures. So I believe that is where you need to make most out of your time. So you take a power nap during that. Once you are fully energized again, during that 15 minutes, read the news, read what's happening around the world, and then once your day is done, sit for 15 minutes and plan what you want to do for the next 3 4 hours.
Right.
So which domain you want to prepare, what is exactly that you want to prepare. It is very important that you take one step at a time. It can be overwhelming at a time, at times, but if you take one step at a time, one day at a time, then it will be very easy for you to prepare for your placements while handling academics. The best thing about FMS is that the position of responsibility that you get,
Right.
you won't be you won't be expected to work on it until after your summer placement.
Okay.
So so for my example, I'll give you my example.
Yeah,
So I
sure.
was the joint finance secretary. So being the joint finance secretary, I had the responsibility of handling the finances side, infrastructure, and everything that goes around in FMS. So, but my responsibility as a JFS started after my summer placements were over, and that is the best thing about FMS. You get the
Okay.
PR, but you will work on that only after your summer placement process is completed, so that there is
Right.
no wastage of time for your
Yes.
summer preparation.
Great.
Yeah.
So, apart from FMS, what all calls did you receive, and why did you specifically choose FMS, and what differentiates FMS from other B schools?
Right. So apart from FMS, I also converted. I am Lucknow,
Okay.
MBI, NMIMS, and other new
Okay.
IMs.
Great. Yes.
So the reason I decided to choose FMS was obviously ROI is a very big factor in that,
Right. Yeah.
and even the even after knowing that the first year per se is going to be online, I think so the choice was made very clear to me that FMS is the clear winner among all the other calls that I had.
Okay.
So that is the reason that I chose FMS. Apart from that, what makes FMS unique? There are two things which makes FMS unique. One, it comes under University of Delhi, because of
Okay.
which we have a semester pattern as opposed to trimester patterns in other B schools. So they'll have 3 semesters in their first year and 3 semesters
Right.
in the second year, but we'll have only 2 semesters, because
Great.
of which the academic pressure is not as much as it is in other B schools.
Okay.
So that helps us in preparing much better during our placement process, and again reduces the academic side of the calendar of the life of an MBA student per se. And then the second best thing about FMS, which differentiates FMS, is the students body, which is the Management Science Association.
Okay.
So in FMS we have a student body which is the Management Science Association, and uh, which I believe is a very integral part of FMS. So we have different societies under FMS, and again, placement teams also comes under the Management Science Association Student Council body. So again, these societies actually help the students a lot before the summer placement. So we'll have marketing buddy, we'll have consulting con club buddy, we'll have systems and operations buddy to allotted to each and every of the student, and
Okay.
they help the students in preparing for each and every phase of the summer preparation, right?
Okay.
So HR society will help you in preparing for the HR answers. Marketing society will help you for your marketing preparation. And again, apart from that, we also have non-content societies which also help you in multiple other things. So we have
Okay.
strategy lab which helps you in getting live projects, and apart from all of this, we also have the secretaries which helps in different aspects of the college per se. So we have general secretary who keeps an overview of all the things that is going on under MSN. We have finance secretary who is me. So I keep
Okay.
track of all the infrastructure work that is going on in FMS. I keep track of all the finances that MSA gets every year and how do I spend it, so on and so forth. And we have culture secretary who keeps track of the cultural activities that need to be carry on. And again, this is very important in the online scenario. So
Great.
that is the most unique thing about MMS, because a Management Science Association, any post of MSA gives you a huge amount of responsibility, and that is something that is expected out of you in your corporate life, that you are able to take the responsibility that is given to you. So I believe that is the most unique thing about FMS. Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that classes are going online, so how to make connections online?
Yeah, so that's a question I think so everyone is pondering about these days.
Okay.
That since
Right.
networking is a very integral part of MBA, and since we are not meeting our other batchmates face to face,
Right.
making connections online is very difficult. But I believe there is still a lot of things that can be done online. So again, participating in class helps you gain visibility and helps you make new friends very easily. So people will come and talk to you very easily because they would expect certain things. So they might want certain things from you, and that might give you a start for the friendship, right? So
Right.
once you have a talk about, let's say, once you discuss a case with your friend for your marketing class, you become friends with him, and then that is how your friendship starts, right? And again, there are multiple events that happens online. So the strongest bond that you will make during your B school will be during induction, because in induction you will be doing multiple tasks together, you will be doing multiple events, there will be multiple events happening together, you will participate with your buddies, and that is the time you'll be the least worried about your placement. So participating in all the events that is being carried out in your college will help you make connection. So apart from that, there'll be corporate competitions where you can participate with
Right.
different teams. You can learn about their strengths, their weaknesses, and how they complement your strengths and weaknesses, and that will again help you gaining that gaining their trust, and again making the connection.
Great. So can you tell us about the curriculum at FMS? So how is the curriculum for
So
2 years?
yeah, so the 2 years at FMS are divided into 4 semesters.
Okay.
First and second semester in the first year, and third and fourth semester in the second year. Each semester we have 8 different subjects. So the best thing about FMS is that in the first year you get a sense of all the different domains that are there of MBA. So we'll have 16 subjects in first year, which will be divided across 4 or 5 different domains. We'll have 4 subjects of HR. We'll have 4 subjects of marketing, 4 subjects of operations, and 4 subjects of finance. So and this is how the whole curriculum is defined in FMS, so that
Okay.
everyone gets a sense of all the different domains that are in the organization. So you'll get a basic. So in the first year, the major aim of FMS is for you to understand the basics of all the different domains, and then in second year you can decide on what specialization that you want to go in. So we'll have in third and fourth semester we'll have 8 subjects each, and out of 8 subjects we'll have 3 subjects which are compulsory and 5 subjects which are optional. So you can select any 5 subjects that you want basis the specialization that you want to go in. So
Great.
if you want to, and the best thing about FMS is that you can do multiple majors. So you can have a
Okay.
major in marketing and finance along with a minor in operations.
Oh,
If you
okay.
ful- in the second year, if you fulfill
Okay.
the minimum criteria of credits, then it is
Okay.
possible that you can have majors in marketing finance with a minor in operations. Yeah.
Okay. Great. So now that since you've achieved a silver medal in your first year, so can you give us some tips on that? How can one prepare during their journey at FMS so that he or she can be an institute topper
Okay,
like you?
so yeah, so
Yeah.
as I mentioned earlier, that class participation is very underrated. So I believe that class participation is the key for you to gaining is the key for you to have a greater understanding of the topic that is being taught.
Right.
So once you start asking questions to the professor about the case, about the topic that is being taught, you will have a much better understanding. So obviously, so there will be multiple case studies for each and every subject that you will be learning. So for marketing, they'll have multiple case studies, and the professor will provide you with the case before the class, and that is where your job starts. You need to read the case two times, 3 times, make notes out of it, jot down the points that you want to discuss with your batchmates, that you want to discuss with your professor, and if possible, before entering into class, discuss it for 10 minutes with your batchmate. That these are my thoughts for this case. What do you think? Take his views, and then you can have a much fruitful discussion in the class. And again, this helps not only in getting the class participation marks, but it also helps you in your final exam, where you can exactly cite those examples
Right.
in your paper, and you can score the marks accordingly. So you can cite the example of the case studies that you will get, and you will get bonus marks because it shows that you have been attentive in the class, and And since obviously the professor is teaching it, it is of immense importance that you know about the case. So I believe class participation along with paying full attention during the class, and then obviously keeping in touch with what is being taught in class is what is necessary. Apart from that, 15 days before the exam, you can start studying and you can score good.
Right. Great. So let's say a student got into FMS. So how can he or she prepare so that they can make the most out of their 2 years at FMS?
Okay. So there are two, three things that a person should do before joining FMS.
Right.
First and foremost is learn Excel. Obviously,
Okay.
Excel is the most important thing that will help you in your journey, not only in FMS, but
Okay.
also
In
in your life.
corporate life. Yeah.
Yeah, in your corporate life. So, learning Excel, learning how to make beautiful presentations, these are the two prerequisites that every MBA student should have before joining a B school. This will help you not only in your academics but also in the corporate competitions, in your internship, and then finally in your job.
Right.
So these are the two major things that a person should learn before joining FMS. Apart from that, a person should start, if he's not already, start reading newspaper, and not a general newspaper but a business newspaper. So you can start by reading Mint, business standards, so on and so forth. You'll get habitual to it, and you'll obviously learn more about the world, and you'll learn more about the business world in particular.
Right.
Apart from that, in FMS we say that the process takes care of itself.
Okay.
So uh, just give your best at FMS, and the process will take care of itself. Yeah.
Great. So finally, what are the tips that you'd like to give the students who are aiming for FMS, the FMS aspirants?
Okay. So my final tip to the aspirants out there, students out there would be prepare well for your CAT. CAT is the most important thing that you need to do. After CAT, you'll have like ample of time to prepare for your interview. So do not stress so much about your interviews before CAT, because if you do not get a good score in CAT, all the preparation for your interview will go waste. But
Right.
if you have a very good score in CAT, you'll have multiple calls, and even if you screw up one or two interviews, you'll be able to get through at least through one good
Right.
college. So prepare well for your CAT. You can obviously take some external help for your interview preparation, and don't stress so much. CAT is not the end. MBA is not the end. It's just a means to an end. So don't
Right.
stress too much. Don't think that your life depends on it. That's
Right.
it.
And
Yeah. So so one unique thing about FMS is that we have two different things in our interview process. First is
right.
SOP discussion, and second is the extempore that happens during the interview. So for SOP, I believe my only tip would be real. Be real as to why you want to do an FMS, why you want to do an MBA, why you want to do it from FMS, and what makes you eligible for that. Just be as real as you can. The professor fraternity here loves if you are real, because if you're not and if you're caught, then you'll get a straight reject. So be real, be as simple as you can.
Right.
There's no need for you to use very fancy words in your SOP. Just be real, keep it simple, keep it short.
Okay. Perfect. So thanks a lot, Vineet. Thank you so much for joining us. You gave some like extremely valuable and extremely useful tips for the FMS aspirants. I'm sure this will be helpful to a lot of aspirants who are aspiring to get into FMS. And thank you so much, and all the best for your second year at FMS.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Bye.